All right, let's take a look at day 5. So we're going to go back to some algebra here and talk about equations of lines, but then we're going to talk about like parallel and perpendicular lines. So let's just start with writing an equation of a line given a point and a slope. So we're going to write it in y equals mx plus b. Okay, right? Equation of a line. And you know, m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. When we write an equation of a line and they give us a point and a slope, so that means they're giving us x and y and m. But we don't have b. But we have 3 of the variables we need. And if we plug it back in, we can solve for b. Okay? So here's x and y and here's m. So I'm going to plug y in. I'm going to plug x in. I forgot m. Sorry. Let's go back. I'm going to plug y in. I'm going to plug m in. And I'm going to plug in x. And I'm going to put plus b because I don't know what that is. So I get y equals 8 plus b, subtract 8. So I get negative 7 equals b. So I have b. And so now I use my m and my b, and I plug that in. Y equals 2x minus 7. So that's how you write an equation of a line given a slope and a point. So let's do another one. So we've got x and y, and we've got m. So y is 4 equals my m times x plus my b. I'm solving for b. So 4 equals 1 plus b, subtract 1, so 3 equals b. So then I get y equals 1/2 x plus my b of 3. All right, x, y. So again, I plug in y, I plug in x, and I plug in m. So 0 equals m 2 over 3 times my x plus b. So 0 equals negative 12 over 3 plus b. 0 equals negative 4 plus b. Add 4 to both sides, so b is going to be 4. So I get y equals m times x plus b. All right. Okay, again, x, y. I'm going to plug in y. I'm going to plug in m. I'm going to plug in x. And I'm solving for b. So negative 1 equals, and I multiply the top one by my x, or by my m. So negative 3 times negative 8 is 24 over 4 plus b. So negative 1 equals 6 plus b, subtract 6, negative 7 equals b. So I write my equation y equals negative 3 over 4 x minus 7. Okay, so now we're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. So parallel lines have the same slope. Okay, so for example, if you have a slope of 2, then a line parallel, this means parallel, right, would also be parallel, would have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slope. Okay, so let's say we had a line with a slope of 2. To find the slope perpendicular to that, we would take the reciprocal. So this is 2 over 1 in a fraction. So the reciprocal is half, and the opposite would make it negative. For another example, what if we had a slope that was like negative 1/4? We wanted a perpendicular slope. Well, we would take the reciprocal, and that gives me 4 over 1, and the opposite is just going to be positive, okay? So, first example, write an equation parallel to y equals 2x plus 4 that passes through the point negative 4, negative 1, okay? First, you have to identify your slope. Well, if we look, the slope of this line is 2. And they want it to be parallel, so that means we're just going to keep the slope, okay? So let me do a little arrow. So we're going to keep our slope since we're doing it parallel. 2. They told us they want us to go through this point with this slope. Well, that's just exactly what we did up top, okay? So this is x and this is y. We're going to plug it in. Negative 1 equals m times x plus b. We're going to solve for b. Negative 1 equals negative 8 plus b. b is going to equal 7. And so then my third step is just to write it y equals m times x plus my b. And that's my answer. All right. So let's do another one. We got to write an equation of a line parallel to -5 has x plus 9 and pass through the point -6, 7. So first we have to identify our slope. So our slope here is -5/2. All right. And so then our slope that we're going to use, because it's a parallel line, we're going to keep the same slope. Okay, so our m parallel is the same. So our second step is to solve for b, right? So we have a point, and we have our slope. And so xy, so 7 equals -5/2 times -6 plus b. So 7 equals 30/2 plus b. 7 equals 15 plus b. Subtract 15. -8 is my b. So my equation is y equals -5/2 x minus 8. That's my answer. All right. Now let's do some perpendicular ones. So if we want to write an equation perpendicular, first we have to identify our slope. So the slope they gave us was -2, but we want it to be perpendicular. So our perpendicular slope is going to be the opposite in the reciprocal. Well, if it's negative, that means our new slope is going to be positive. And if it's the reciprocal, this is 2/1, so that means we're going to do 1/2. So that's our new slope. So then we have our 0.43. We have our new slope 1/2. So, not y. This is x, this is y. So 3 equals 1/2 times 4 plus b. And we're going to solve that. So 3 equals 2 plus b. B is 1. So our new equation is y equals 1/2 x plus 1. All right, one more time. So again, identify our slope. So our slope is 3/4, but we want it perpendicular. So our new slope, remember this means perpendicular. Our new slope is going to be -4/3 because that's the opposite in the reciprocal. So then we get 3, -3, and our perpendicular slope is -4/3. That's what we're going to use. Okay. So xy, so -3 equals -4/3 times 3 plus b. -3 equals, that's going to be -12/3 plus b. So -3 equals -4 plus b. Add 4. And 1 equals b. So our equation is y equals -4/3x.